Fun Cooking. I'm your host, Rachel Hanson, and I'm super excited today because I'm going to show you some really quick and easy recipes to make a delicious and decadent Valentine's Day dinner for your sweetheart. We're going to start with a quick and easy no-stir risotto. We're going to put some sun-dried tomatoes, some grilled chicken, and some fresh spinach in there. We're going to finish off with some naughty brownies and talk a little bit about the perfect wine pairing to go with each of these dishes. So we're going to go ahead and start with our easy no-stir risotto. We're going to start by grilling up our chicken. I just have 2 chicken breasts here and a little bit of oil and your favorite seasoning. And we're going to take these over to the grill pan and get them all grilled up. So this is our grill pan. I have it heated up over about medium-high heat right now, just to get the pan and the press heated up. And all we're going to do is we're going to take our chicken and put it right on there, get ready for the sizzle. I love this pan. All right, so we'll just get this heated up here. We'll go ahead and put the press right back on top. And we're going to let this sit for about 3 to 4 minutes per side, and then we'll flip them. All right, after a couple minutes, we'll go ahead and check our chicken. I'm just going to flip these over. You can see we're getting nice grill marks on that first side. So just another couple minutes on this side, and then we'll take the chicken out and let it rest while we get the rest of our risotto ready. Go ahead and take a look at our chicken here. We're going to check the temperature. Chicken you want to be at about 165 degrees. Now, fun tip with your thermometer, you actually don't want to just stick it right in the top. There's usually a little notch on your thermometer about halfway up, and you need to get your thermometer into your food all the way up to that notch to get an accurate reading. If you don't, your thermometer is actually going to read low, and so you're going to think that your chicken is less done or any of your meat is less done than it actually is, and you're going to end up cooking it more to bring it up to temperature, which actually means you'll be overcooking your chicken. So when I cook my chicken, I usually like to bring it up to just over 160, and I'm going to let it rest and bring it all the way up to 165. So we're there. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the chicken out. We're just going to set that aside in our bowl. We'll let it rest, reabsorb some of the juices, and we'll chop this up later to go into our risotto. All right, I'm going to show you a really fun trick for chopping up your onion. If you don't have the Pampered Chef food chopper or manual food processor, this is a really fun trick to get your onion finely chopped up and in a really quick and easy fashion. So I cut off one end of the onion, took the paper off, and I actually left one end of it intact for now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my knife, and I'm going to cut some lines down. All right, so we're just going to score some lines in our onion. We're going to make kind of a crosshatch pattern here. And by keeping the bottom of the onion intact, it'll keep most of this onion together. So now what we can do, so you can take your onion, and then as you slice into it, you see it's all nicely, finely diced for you. It's a quick, easy trick for chopping up your onions. There we go. So we're going to saute up this onion with a little bit of garlic in some butter in the Rock Crock Everyday pan. So I'm going to start by heating this up a little bit on the stove. We're going to add just a tablespoon of butter. Go ahead and get that butter in the pan. Just stir it around and let the butter melt. After your butter is melted, you can go ahead and add in your chopped onion. And we're going to add 3 cloves of garlic. One of my favorite things about the Pampered Chef garlic press is that you never have to touch the raw garlic. Just pull off the individual cloves, but you don't need to take the paper off. You just throw it in the press, squeeze it out, and the shell stays right in the press. All right, we're going to just soften up our onions a little bit. You can start smelling that garlic. It smells so delicious. We're also going to throw our rice in here, and we're going to toast it up just a little bit. When making risotto, we use arborio rice. It's a little bit different than your typical rice grain. It's like a little oval shape. Now, if you don't have that type of rice or you can't find it at your local grocery store, you can definitely use regular rice, but to make a true risotto, you want to find that arborio rice. Sometimes it's called arborio rice, and sometimes it'll say risotto rice right on the package. So in our pan, we've got the tablespoon of butter. We've got a medium onion all chopped up, a couple cloves of garlic, and then we've got the rice in here, and we're just toasting it up for a couple of minutes. And then we'll bring it back over to the counter and add some more ingredients in. All right, so after you brown up your rice and cook down your onions just a little bit, you can pull this off. Risotto is typically a dish that a lot of people don't make at home. Traditionally, it's a tough dish to make, but it's so delicious because it has this creamy, decadent texture to it. So it's one that you'll find out at restaurants quite a bit. But the reason it can be such a challenge is that traditionally it's made standing over the stovetop and slowly adding in chicken stock and stirring it constantly. Now, when you're trying to celebrate Valentine's Day with your sweetheart, you don't want to be standing at the stovetop cooking for 20 minutes straight. You'd rather be enjoying a glass of wine. So that's why we have our easy no-stir risotto. After we have everything all toasted up on the stovetop, we are just going to take about 3½ cups of chicken stock, and we're going to pour that right in. We're going to also add a little bit of black pepper. Just about ½ teaspoon. We'll stir this together. Make sure all the rice is down in the stock. And then what makes this dish super easy is that we are just going to cover this and put it in the microwave for about 16 minutes. And while it's in the microwave, we're going to get some mix-ins all chopped up and ready to go. You'll notice that when I got our risotto ready to go in the microwave, I had our broth all mixed up in one of our Easy Read measuring cups. What I love to do is I love to have some of the powdered stock or chicken broth, beef broth, vegetable broth. I like to keep that in my pantry so that I always have broth and stock on hand. It saves room, and then I always have it instead of needing to have the cans or the boxes that we typically buy. All you need to do is mix this with water. So when you're buying the cans or the boxes, you're paying for a bunch of water in there anyway. So these are really great things to have in your pantry. Really great tip for always having those on hand for any dish that you're making. So while our risotto is in the microwave cooking, we're just going to get our mix-ins ready. Now you could do any sort of fillings that you might like. Today we are going to do the chicken, sun-dried tomato, and spinach. So this is about half of a jar of sun-dried tomatoes in oil. And I just patted them off a little bit on a paper towel. And we're just going to use the kitchen scissors and just kind of chop them up a little bit. Now these, like I said, are ones that were already hydrated in the oil. You can definitely buy the ones that are dried and in the pouch. I would just recommend putting them in some vegetable or olive oil overnight to rehydrate before you use them. Other ones, these ones work great. So we're just chopping them up a little bit. And these kitchen scissors are perfect for the job. They are nice and sharp. We'll easily slice through them. And what I love is when it's time to clean up, they come apart so I can make sure to get all of the oil out of there. All right, so there are our sun-dried tomatoes. Our chicken that we grilled up earlier, we've let it stand and cool and reabsorb some of our juices here. And there is a little bit of broth at the bottom of the bowl. We're going to leave that in there. We'll pour that right back into our risotto. I'm just going to go ahead and use the salad choppers, and we're going to chop this up. Just into nice bite-sized chunks. Now the name is deceiving because the salad choppers, yes, they're great for salad. You can take all of your ingredients, put them in one big bowl, and just chop it up real quickly, have a salad ready to go in seconds. But they're also perfect for shredding meat. And that's how they get used most often in our house, for shredded chicken and pork, anything that you need to chop up. But they're also great for taco night, chopping up that lettuce real fine, real quickly, or your tomatoes. Really, I could have put our sun-dried tomatoes right in the same bowl with the chicken, and I could have chopped it all up together with these salad choppers. All right, so there's our grilled chicken, all chopped up, ready to go. And then we're going to take some fresh spinach. This is all washed up and ready to go, and I'm just going to slice some bite-sized pieces of the spinach so that we have about 2 cups worth. And we'll mix this in as well. All right, as soon as our risotto comes out of the microwave, we'll mix these in and another tablespoon of butter, and then our dish will be all ready to go. Next up, we're going to make some of those naughty brownies to serve for dessert. All right, now that our risotto is done in the microwave and we have all of our mix-ins ready, and we've got some Parmesan cheese grated up, we're ready to finish our dish. Smells so good. All right, I'm just going to fluff up our risotto a little bit. Look at this. It is perfectly done, nice and smooth and creamy. We're going to add in another tablespoon of butter. Mix that in. We're going to add in our 2 cups of chopped spinach. our chopped up sun-dried tomatoes and our 2 cups of chopped up grilled chicken. So mix this in, and then we'll get our cheese mixed in. After we get everything mixed in, we're just going to cover this and let it stand for about 5 minutes. It'll cook up that spinach a little bit, the cheese will melt, that butter will melt, and then they'll be ready to serve. And while this is standing, we're going to get those brownies ready to go. They're super quick and easy and so delicious. The perfect dessert to go with our Valentine's Day meal. I love this risotto because it really is a meal all in one. You've got your protein, you've got some veggies, you've got your grains, all in one pot. All right, we're going to go ahead and cover this. We'll set it aside for about 5 minutes just to let everything finish cooking and let that cheese melt. All right, now we are going to make our naughty brownies. These are a delicious dessert. They're super simple and really decadent. They'll go very well with our risotto dinner. So we're going to use our brownie pan, and this is great because every single piece, not only are they going to be uniform little squares, but then everybody can get one of the corner pieces. So we'll just start by spritzing it with a little bit of oil, just so that our brownies don't stick to the edges. And we're going to go ahead and mix up our brownie batter. So in our small batter bowl, I have just 2 tablespoons of water. And we're going to add 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, 2 eggs, and we're going to whisk this together, and then we'll add in our brownie mix. Now for this recipe, since it's more than just brownie mix that goes in the pan, we actually don't need a whole box of brownie mix. So you can either take a box of brownie mix and use about 2 cups plus 2 tablespoons of the mix and have some left over, or you can get one of these smaller boxes of brownie mix and just use that. So that's what we're doing today. And we'll just go ahead and mix this all together. Get as many of those lumps out as we can. A few of them are okay. A few lumps in your batter will make them light and fluffy and airy. Because as they bake, the moisture from your food will rise through the brownie, and it'll pop those little air bubbles. It'll moisturize those little pockets of powder, and then it'll leave little air bubbles and give you a nice fluffy texture. That's why you don't want to overmix your brownie batter or your pancake batter either. All right. So now that we have this mixed up, let's assemble our naughty brownies. The bottom layer is actually going to be cookie dough. So go ahead and get a roll of your favorite refrigerated cookie dough. We're just going to open it up. And I'm going to try to leave it in a roll here. What we're going to do is split this into 12 even portions to go in our brownie pan. So I'll cut it in half, and then each side in half, and then cut each of these into 1/3. And that'll give us 12 pretty much equal sections. All right. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to take these pieces of cookie dough and press them into the bottom of the brownie pan, one in each well. Press that in there so that you get cookie dough in all of the corners. All right, now the next step is optional, but who can say no to little peanut butter cups? So I'm going to take one of these and I'm going to press it in the middle of each of my brownie pan wells. Put a little peanut butter cup in the middle of each of our brownies. And you can put 2 in each well if you'd like. We're just going to do 1, so we have that burst of peanut butter cup in the middle of our brownie. All right, and now that we have our cookie dough and our peanut butter cups in there, we're going to go ahead and add our brownie batter. And you can use your medium scoop. That's about 2 tablespoons worth. And you can just scoop the batter right into each well. Now you don't want to overfill these because the brownie batter is going to rise while it bakes. Now you could definitely mix up this recipe. So many different variations. You could use different kinds of cookie crusts. You could use different kinds of candies in the middle. You could even use slightly different variations of the brownie batter if you'd like. Maybe a couple cherries in the middle instead of your peanut butter cup. Maybe a caramel in the middle. All sorts of really fun ways to mix up these naughty brownies. All right, once we have all of these wells filled, we're going to throw this in the oven at about 350 for about 20 minutes. Just until they're baked through and the brownies start pulling away from the sides of the pan. We'll let them rest for a couple minutes and then we'll pop them out. All right, there you have it. I'm just going to pop these in, and we'll check on them in about 20 minutes. These look delicious. All right, we're going to let them rest for about 5 minutes, and then we'll pop them out. All right, after your brownies rest for about 5 minutes, you should be able to pop them out. Look at that. You can see that brownie batter rose up a bit, so you can't even see those little peanut butter cups hidden inside. All right, let's plate up our dinner. I just want to show you the inside of these brownies. Check that out. So you've got your layer of cookie dough, your peanut butter cup, and the brownie on top. Doesn't that look delicious? Now that we have dinner ready, we're going to go ahead and plate this up. Our risotto's been sitting for a few minutes. You can see all the cheese is melted. Our spinach is cooked a little bit. We'll give it a final stir here. And we can go ahead, serve some of that up. This is such a creamy and delicious dish. All right, then we'll get one of our brownies here. And of course, some strawberry to go with it. Now, no Valentine's Day dinner is complete without some wine to go with it. So what I would recommend to go with your risotto when you're having your dinner is a nice white wine, like a Pinot Grigio would work out best, all right? I've got a Pinot Grigio here in our wine chiller. This chiller, it has stoneware inside, so it stays nice and cold. You can just go ahead and put this in your freezer for a couple of hours, and it comes with a little stand to catch all the condensation so you don't have condensation on your counter. And then you can put your chilled bottle of wine in there, and it'll keep your white wine cold throughout all of dinner. Now, after you are finished with your risotto and you move on to dessert, I recommend going with a red wine, like a Cabernet or a Pinot Noir. So here I have a Cabernet Sauvignon, and in order to taste test this, we're going to have to open some wine. So I have our electric wine bottle opener. It has a nice little stand. The stand actually has the foil cutter in it. So we can go ahead and take the foil off, just like that. And we'll open our wine. What's really nice about our wine bottle opener, it's electric, it's super easy to use, and one charge can open 60 bottles of wine. And it just charges with a mini USB cord. Super easy. All right. Now we also have, if you like your wine aerated, we do have the wine aerator that can go right in your wine bottle, and it'll aerate as you pour. And to store any leftover wine, you can always get the wine pourer and stopper. You can just put that in and stop your bottle of wine. You can actually even store this right on its side in the fridge if you need to, and it won't leak. But of course, just finish the bottle of wine. That's what I do. All right, there we go. You've got your wonderful dinner all ready to go for you and your sweetheart this Valentine's Day. I want to give a special thanks, as always, to the Sunshine Place for letting us use their amazing kitchen. If you are in the Sun Prairie area, definitely come on out on a Monday night for a free meal. If you'd like more information about these recipes or any of the products that you saw today, go on over to pamperedchef.com and search for me, Rachel Hanson, or your local Pampered Chef consultant. Thanks so much. Thanks for joining us.